Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cantrip Cast. As you may or may not know, One D&D was recently announced, which is, I guess, Wizards of the Coast's new rendition or big update for D&D that they are doing over the next couple years. I believe it is set to release in 2024, but it's something a little different they're doing. It's not going to be like a new edition. It seems like they're kind of trying to drop like the edition after D&D and just essentially do what they're saying, which is One D&D, which I kind of like.
Very good for us because I'm so tired of buying an entire new series
every 10 years. Yeah,
every
you invest
10
so much.
Years.
I think it's good. It seems like the game plan is they want to just continue to like add to what they already have and make that D&D and just keep on adding more and more. It seems like from what I'm reading, what everybody's saying is everything is still going to be like 5th edition compatible and like backwards compatible with like the current like edition that we have, because they're not really moving into a new edition. It seems like what we're going to go over today, which is the new Unearthed Arcana for character origins. They're not really changing mechanically how the rules currently are. It seems like they are just kind of adding more stuff with some new rules here and there that you can or can't use, but the core kind of like way people are playing D&D right now seems like the way they're going to keep everything, which I kind of like. I'm always fine with new additions, like additions, not editions with an E, to games because, you know, expansions are fun. I think it's going to be a good, not change, but good supplemental kind of recurring content that we're gonna be getting from Wizards to hopefully add just more to this game that we all know and love. So
I really think it's a wise path forward for them rather than trying to, break new boundaries, set up new games, try to make something new. You've already got something that people love. People are playing it. It's definitely got a big social culture, or not even social culture, just like Stranger Things was showing D&D movies coming out. TikTok really helped connect a lot of people who play D&D, and now they're just sort of consolidating. I know me and Brandon have looked over some of this already, and we've talked about it a tiny bit, but we wanted to save as much of it to be fresh for the video as possible.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've already seen some things I don't like, and I've seen some things I really do like, and some things that I find a little just redundant / confusing.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really looked through it much either. We did skim it a little bit before this to kind of get an idea of kind of what we were getting into. And I guess we'll kind of go through it as we see. Again, this is playtest material. It's Unearthed Arcana. And Jeremy Crawford even said, he's like, hey, we're putting this out there. We're going to see what people's thoughts are. We're going to see if people like it. If not, we're putting surveys out for everybody to kind of give us your thoughts and everything. We're sure there's going to be things people don't like. We're sure there's going to be things people do like. I watched like a long video he did for like an hour, and they were very optimistic about everything, but he did very much say like, hey, this is it's playtest material. So
yeah, definitely. We've seen plenty of things reach Unearthed Arcana stage and then still fail to, find full development.
Yeah.
Like, did the Mystic ever actually get all the way greenlit?
I don't think it ever did. I'm pretty sure it just stayed in Unearthed Arcana.
Yeah, see, some things just don't make the cut because, like, you make them, they're wonderful, and then you let people play test them, and little D&D gremlins get a hold of those concepts, and they strangle people with it. So it's cool that we get to try things out without being married to them.
Yeah. But then on the same note too, sometimes a lot of things in Unearthed Arcana do make it into official material, but because it is playtest, they do change them before they hit like official material as well too. And that's what these are. Yeah, that's what these are for. I like that they do this rather than just like, here's a new thing, nobody got to see it, have fun. It's like, hey, we're putting out a product. We want to know what you think of it. Play test it. Here's a survey. Let us know what you think. And they gather the information to see what people like. So with that being said, let's skim through it a little bit. They are releasing an Unearthed Arcana, I think they said almost every week or every month up until like 2024, which is crazy. But then again, that's because they're releasing a new player's handbook and a new Dungeon Master's Guide in 2024. And this is kind of what they're getting ready for. So character origins, obviously, is going to include like things like your races, backgrounds, languages, feats, and so forth. I think there is a small rules glossary in here somewhere as well, too, I think. I'm not sure if that's something that you saw or not, but I didn't see it yet. But
they've got small smacks of rollings. Like, even if you just go to the first page, they have like a little bit of the new rollings just explaining it using these new terminologies and vernaculars that they're coming out with.
Okay.
Which is really interesting. Basically, one thing that I've seen that they've done sort of across the races is they've added the of many worlds edition. So you have like humans of many worlds, elves of many worlds. So where you're putting like your sub races of what we used to have. So you'd have your dwarves, and then you'd have your mountain dwarves, your hill dwarves. Now they're just doing dwarves of many worlds, listing them all. I actually sort of like it because I think it sort of compacts a lot of this information. And
Yeah,
it
I
makes it
feel
a lot
like
quicker to go through.
I feel like that does help a lot too, because there's so many like character races in D&D, and then so many sub races to go with those races, and it's just like a lot. It's like, okay, cool. I want to play an elf. What kind? There's 12 different ones you can choose from. Which is cool. Yep. I love options, but it seems like they're really trying to like really just tighten that end of things. Still give you the options, but just make it looks like a little more simplified. Which I think is pretty cool. I know there was one for elves, so there's new tiefling ones too. Humans of many worlds. I see that here. The one thing I will say about the humans real quick, I like the fact that they're giving humans a little bit of love, and there's something cool that I did see here. I'm not sure if you caught it at first initially. The size for the humans, you can choose your size, either medium or small now, which I kind of like.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I think with humans, sort of part of the problem I found with 5e, to be completely honest, was people would be like, boom, I'm going to go very human so that I can build this funny thing I saw on TikTok/YouTube. And then people that were just like new to D&D that was like, it's my first character, I'm going to be human. But there was like no middle ground people just playing humans because there was an interesting thing about it. And it looks like they're definitely adding some flavor. I see humans, a lot of this entire Unearthed Arcana feels like a lot of flavoring, which is what I think is the best.
I think it's
great.
I think it's great. Yeah, flavoring is so much fun, and that makes that just makes some campaigns, you know. So now, if you want to play a small creature, you don't have to play a gnome or a halfling or a dwarf. You can play a human that's just small, you know, which is cool. The other thing I like with humans too is they are giving them the skillful feat. You gain not that one, sorry, resourceful. You gain an inspiration whenever you finish a long rest. I love that.
I just caught something that I don't really like so much.
Oh, what's up?
They have increased dwarf and halfling speed to 30.
Have they really?
Yes, they absolutely have. And I'm not seeing increases for some of the larger races here, and I really do not like the balance of that.
I kind of like the halfling and gnomes and dwarves being 25. It makes sense.
I liked
the
small. Flavor of them going slower because they were slower. And yeah, they did not change any of the other speeds. That's very interesting. And that's one of the things I wanted to complain to you about.
I didn't see that. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about that because, like, it just makes sense. You're 2-3 feet tall, so your speed is probably a little lesser because you got shorter legs and whatnot. But then again, because you're being small, you have things like nimbleness and, you know, all those other features and whatnot.
I think a 25 feet speed for halflings is great because I don't know what balances that out. Maybe, I don't know, halfling luck. Never rolling in that one for like pretty much the entirety of the
you
game.
lose 5 in your speed, but you get a really cool feat usually in replace of it. But
yeah, I think that's sort of ridiculous.
That's how I feel about it. Let's move on real quick to the Ardlings. Ardlings are a new race that are currently coming out that is in this playtest. The Ardlings are supernatural beings who are either born on the upper planes or have one or more ancestors who originated there. Their bright souls shine with the light of immortal beings who call the upper planes home. Sounds kind of like ASMR to me a little bit.
That's what
but
I was thinking too.
Different.
They're going more angelic, I think.
That's what it seems
ASMR.
like. Yeah,
they're really trying to touch it.
And there's 3 celestial legacies here, which would I'm assuming be like your sub race. There's exalted, there's heavenly, and there's idyllic. Idyllic, I think that's what it is. There's the exalted, their fierce passions of Oboria, their heroic heart of Ysgard. I don't know a lot of the WotC realms, apparently. The wondrous naturals of Beastlands, called the Ardlings, who have exalted legacy. Something chaotic good plane. Okay, so the exalted heavenly and idyllic looks like it comes from. It kind of determines what plane you come from. So their exalted is chaotic good, heavenly is lawful good, and the idyllic is neutral good. Okay, I see. Yeah, it definitely looks like. Yeah, even you have an ability called angelic flight too.
Yeah, I see that. This sort of feels like it's taking away from the ASMR. I think I would have liked to see an ASMR rework before I would have liked to see this. But I do like that they gave it 3 different subclasses. I'm going to be interested to see if like ASMRs get less love now.
Yeah, I want to see what's different about the Ardlings. I don't know ASMR too well personally, but it looks very like a similar vibe. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so your
These seem
legacies here have different animals.
yes, yes. These seem a little bit stronger to me than an SMR. That's why I'm thinking that this is like they come with damage resistance. Like they get all kinds of cool stuff.
Which I think is cool, but I'd like to
Very
see
cool.
maybe the ASMR then also get like a rework. Then again, I don't play a lot of ASMR, so
Yeah,
I don't
SMR
I
is
don't
sort
I don't
of
know them
like
well. I don't know them
the
too
way
well.
I sort of see them is the SMR is sort of like the opposite of the Tiefling. It's like, you know,
Yeah, makes sense.
Daddy came down, and, turned into a goat. Somehow you got here, and now you have like little wings and you can float fly.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really cool. I obviously am much more big on Tiefling, which is why I'm really excited
Yeah, your
to
go-to is
just
Tiefling.
see
Yeah.
some of these Tiefling reworks. Now it's
Yeah,
Abyssal,
we'll get to it.
Chthonic, and Infernal.
Yeah, we'll get to those. I'm just kind of going to the list here. Well, so we can hurry up and get to it. Let's go to Dragonborn real quick. I didn't see too many changes with Dragonborn. You got your Draconic Ancestry, which is, I'm assuming, just like the color that you are. Yeah, black, blue, brass, bronze, copper, gold, green, red, silver, white. And that determines your damage for your breath weapon. Your breath weapon is in a cone. I believe it was still in a 15-foot cone before, or was it different? Or was it in a line? Actually, weren't each of them different depending on what you chose?
It gave you like, yeah, it was
Like
like
options.
half and half. Like half were line attacks and half were cones.
Yeah, just like a dragon's
this
breath,
is
how
new.
lightning was a line. Yeah, these are all in cones. Okay.
Yeah, they've changed it. I like that they changed it to make it a little bit more controllable for a DM, but
Yeah.
it definitely takes away a little bit of the flair of getting to choose which style. But good DMs, let your Dragonborn flavor their breath however they want to.
Well, and that's the beauty about, like, I guess this Unearthed Arcana too, is because even like, you know, people at WotC, and I believe Jeremy Crawford said, I believe is like, hey, even if you don't like this stuff, it's still compatible with the old, or like the, you know, the current edition of D&D. So you guys can play however you want to play. It's One D&D, play how you want, you know, and that's the biggest thing. Is I love that they're adding more stuff. It's very obvious, and from what we've been told and seen, is like, hey, some people are gonna like this, some people aren't, but that's why you can put a survey in to tell us what you do and don't like. So I'm happy, even though there's some stuff in here we might not be fond of, I'm still happy that they are kind of getting their feet wet and throwing new things out there rather than just not, you know what I mean? So we can kind of see what they're thinking, coming up with. Back to Dragonborn. Damage resistances. Yeah, you've resistance.
Yeah,
due to
the rest seem pretty much the same.
Dark Vision, your Draconic Language. Dragonborn Many Worlds. Yeah, it looks like they're doing this like many worlds type thing, which I kind of like.
It's sort of a
blanket
thing. I thought it was sort of redundant the first time I went over the list, but I sort of appreciate it because it's basically freeing it up. Not saying like all orcs are evil. All orcs are from this mountain. All the orcs from this mountain are evil, and that's all they do. This is says like, no, there's some orcs everywhere. There's some Dragonborn everywhere.
Yeah, which I like. Yeah, and I know that's a big thing they were trying to go for too. Is like they're trying to give you more options for more flair, so that way you can flair your character if you want to flair it. You know, you don't have to be a dwarf that lives in the mountains. Maybe you're a dwarf that was raised by tieflings or something. You know what I mean? Like they're giving you all these options, which I like.
Yeah, I do like that a lot.
Yeah. Dwarves, real quick. Yeah, let's get to it because it's gonna be a longer video.
Just a speed increase, man.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. One. Yeah, the dwarves. Yeah, dark vision. Oh no, there is the stone cutting change.
Just not impressed.
I like that stone cutting actually has like purpose now. I guess with the tremor senses bonus action. I do like that. Like that's.
It definitely adds.
I think it's
flair.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. DMs are gonna have to get used to that and start like working that back in. I did notice one thing I didn't like about the dwarves on this Unearthed Arcana. If you notice, when you go down to the Dwarves of Many Worlds, it doesn't go through any sub-dwarves at all.
Oh my god, you're right.
And that's the only one I've seen. I think that's just a typo, or they missed that, or if not...
Also, not everything is in here, too. You know, they're just throwing stuff in here.
Right.
So.
It'll be exciting to keep going over these as they come out and putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
No, there's... Ancestry to the settlements themselves call hill dwarves or mountain dwarves, respectively. Oerth and Kern, the worlds of Greyhawk and Dragonlance settings, are examples of worlds that have such dwarven communities. In other worlds, dwarves have given themselves other cultural designations. Faerun and Forgotten Realms. So it, like, mentions them a little bit, but doesn't, like, really give too much.
It doesn't go over the stats and the... Yeah, it doesn't really give you as much as I'd wanted to see. I love dwarves as well.
right, let's go to elves real quick. Let's see, what is anything different? The elven lineage. I think that is
That's the main thing.
the main thing is the elven lineage,
Mhm.
which, instead of, you choosing your sub race, you now have your lineage, which is drow, high elf, or wood elf is what it looks like.
I think that's cooler.
Yeah.
Because now instead of saying like I am a drow elf, you could just say no, I'm an elf. My lineage is drow.
Drow, yeah.
And then you could be like, yeah, I'm like this many years or this many generations removed from drow. My ancestors come from Enza Branson. You could do anything cool like that, and I think that really is nice that they opened it up.
Yeah, I do like that. The biggest thing for me in D&D is absolutely being able to take a character and make it how you want to make it. And it seems like that's what Wizards is kind of doing, where they're just like, hey, this is what people like to do, so we're going to allow you to do it, like, just officially now. Because everybody was already doing it before, and they even said in the video that I watched, where it's like, hey, a lot of what you're going to read in these playtests is stuff that you're already doing. We're just making it more official now, which is cool.
Yeah. I think it's good that they're also, that makes it seem to me that they're in touch with the base. They're like, we know what our fans are doing. We know what they like. Let's just go ahead and add to the rule book, and that might help clear things up for like newer players or help redefine things for older players that, are trying to grow with these changes. And I appreciate that as well.
Yep. Let's hop over to gnomes real quick.
Gnomes.
Yeah, looks like the +5 to their speed. Dark Vision, Gnome Cunning, Gnome Lineage. Again, the lineage there with the Forest Gnome and the Rock Gnome. Gnome of Many Worlds, Forest Gnomes, Rock Gnomes. Looks like the biggest thing.
They really increased the Rock Gnome.
I didn't look at the Rock Gnome. Where are we at here? Oh, they did.
It just seems like
maybe.
they didn't add too much, but it looks like they're definitely keeping with that the trinket thing that they've sort of tried to associate with
like
gnomes.
tinkerers, yeah,
like tinkering or silly little spells or whatever. I really like it. I love that flavor on a gnome.
Oh, me
anyway.
too. Yeah,
and especially with rock gnomes, sort of getting. I'd like to say almost like a natural druidic type of artificer feel, like a natural technology type thing. I think that's really cool.
It seems like they're really kind of delving into that a little bit too. And that's now after reading this, I understand what Jeremy Crawford was saying in a video he did was, hey, the gnomes are going to be more the most gnomey gnomes you're going to see. The elves are going to be the most elfy elves. The dwarves are going to be the most dwarven dwarves that you're seeing. So they're really like going into like the lineage and stuff, which is cool and like just giving you this flair and benefits and stuff. Halfling, +5 to that speed increase. Not sure how I feel about it still. Brave. Did halflings always have brave?
Pretty sure.
Did they?
Pretty damn sure.
I need to look.
You don't have to believe me. But while he's looking that up, they still have halfling nimbleness. I think they've always had that. They don't call it halfling luck in this. It just says luck. It's still roll a d20 on a 1 and take the second.
Yeah, they always have it brave. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I'm pretty sure they always had naturally stealthy as well. If you're still
naturally stealthy is there. Yeah.
Right. They've always had that. And then with the halflings.
The Lightfoot halfling has naturally stealthy.
Now
it looks like they all have it. Yeah.
Yes, but just like the dwarves for the halflings, it seems like they went over it really quick. Like they mentioned a few clans, but they also do not go over really any of the other subs. But I'm sure that type of stuff has to be coming because the fans
it will. Yeah.
expect it. So it'll definitely be there.
Well, let's go over a new race that we have. The orcs are now a race. No, not half orcs, but orcs. Have finally made it into D&D as an official playable race, at least in the playtest material, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they've been on D&D Beyond for a while.
Yeah, it just now it looks like they're putting into like an official player's handbook.
Yeah.
It
looks like they're using the same one that we've had for a little while that was unofficial, because I know that people really have been wanting to play orcs.
Yeah. So what do they have here? They have Adrenaline Rush. You can take the dash action as a bonus action. When you do so, you gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. Dark Vision, powerful build. You count one size larger when determining your capacity and carrying size. You can push, drag, lift more stuff. And Relentless Endurance, much like a half orc. When you hit 0, you go to 1 instead of going down, much like the half orc. And then they have, again, Orcs of Many Worlds.
Yeah, I think one thing they should have done here for their Relentless Endurance to maybe make them stand out from the half orcs, instead of making it like a long rest ability, I think they should make that a short rest. Like, this is just something, that's what they were bred to do, is go into battle. Even in the description, it's talking about Grumsh, the One-Eyed God, definitely going over some R.A. Salvatore
Warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely coming right out of an R.A. Salvatore book,
Yeah.
which is I've seen a lot of D&D has
They
been
are-
really going parallel with that.
No, they are. I think it's a new. I think a new story, a new book, or a new series, something they're putting out about Dritz and Caddy Priest's daughter is coming out. So they're like,
wow.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
so
gonna be
there's.
interesting.
Oh yeah, there's like official artwork and stuff that came out recently for it too. I'll have to send it to you.
Definitely.
So, let's hop to Tieflings. I know you want to talk about the Tieflings.
I love
That
it.
is your biggest thing. You got your 3 legacies. There is Abyssal, there is a Chthonic, and then there is Infernal.
What I'm thinking that they're going to do, based off what I've seen, is I wouldn't be surprised if they rework the Tieflings and the Ardlings like this to make them sort of like the antithesis to each other.
Yeah, I can
And
see
I wouldn't
that.
be surprised if they just take the SMR out, because you see they have the legacies. They're all also matching up with sort of like your chaotic, your lawful, your neutral. They're
Yeah.
definitely making these sort of, reflective. And I really like that.
I do like
the good
it,
versus
yeah.
evil type of thing, even in the races, because
Yeah.
then you could still do Tieflings of Many Worlds and be like, no, my Tiefling hangs out with Ardlings, and that's what he's about.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of the, the other, what's it called? Tieflings of Many Worlds, where it's like, even though, like, your ancestry or your, your legacy comes from, like, the Abyss or Hell or whatever, that's just your legacy. It doesn't mean that that's what you do now or where you actually came from. That's just your legacy and whatnot, you know what I mean? Again, kind of sculpting that ability for you to continue to kind of build into your character and to what you want to make him, or him or her,
they're
or them or they.
definitely making these Tieflings way the hell more Tiefling. Like in the Chthonic, it says that some of these Tieflings straight up look cadaverous. And in the Abyssal, like, you straight up look like a demon. Like, it looks really, really, really
Oh, they're
good,
going into,
way
like, the
they're
flavor of,
reworking
I
it.
love it. What I'd
I'm
like
gonna
to...
be big into this. I'm
not
gonna
sure
be
if you
playing
saw
another
it.
Tiefling soon,
Yeah,
so
not sure if you saw it, but now, beans, we can make beans a little more official, because you can choose your size as a Tiefling as well. You can be medium or small.
It's so awesome.
Yeah. 100-year lifespan, 30-foot speed, dark vision, fiendless legacy, otherworldly presence, the thaumaturgy cantrip. I'm pretty sure you had that beforehand as a Tiefling. You play more Tieflings than I do, yeah.
For sure. Tieflings have been getting a lot of love. I would be so ass backwards to try and pretend that they haven't. Tieflings have definitely been getting love officially and on the side for a long time, just like clerics. So if you're a Tiefling cleric player, lucky you. But this definitely is much more in-depth and thought out. And that's what I think is really, really, really cool. And I'm very happy to see that flying is not just given immediately anywhere here in the Tiefling description.
Yep. That is it for the races. Let's go to the backgrounds real quick. The backgrounds are... I think the biggest thing with the backgrounds is, A, you can build your own background, which is cool. They have predetermined and pre-built backgrounds that you can choose from, which is cool. But I think the biggest thing about them is the fact that they give, like, really good feats now. So, for example, the Acolyte, you get the Magic Initiate feat.
Brandon, hold up. You're missing the biggest change.
What's the biggest change?
These come with ability score increases.
What?
Noble, +2 charisma, +1 intelligence.
Oh my god, you're right, they do.
That is going to change the entire way the game is played. These backgrounds.
But the thing is, I feel like they should. I feel like backgrounds always should have given ability score increases.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be huge. It's really going to make a difference.
I feel like it makes sense, though. It just does. Like, if you're from a certain background, you naturally probably have some sort of increase to an ability, not just a proficiency in something. It would make sense. If you're an Acolyte studying under whatever deity that you're studying under, of course you'd have, plus to your intelligence or wisdom.
Bro, they all come with a language. Good ones. Like the Sailor comes with Primordial. The Sage comes with Elvish. The Pilgrim comes with Halfling. It has all kinds of awesome... This is going to be great.
Charlatan is in front. Yeah, I see that. Entertainer has Elvish. Musician feat. Criminal has the Alert feat. I like this a lot.
This is really...
The farmer
really
background can speak Halfling and has the tough feat. All of your characters are going to be farmers. Every single one of your characters. You'll never have to worry about, like, just taking a feat and to take tough. You can just make your background for every character you make a farmer. +2 constitution, +1 wisdom, animal handling nature, carpenter's tools, Halfling for the language, and the tough feat. Holy shit. That screams every single character you've ever made.
Dear Lord, please bless this scythe. As I have brought to you wheat, I shall also fall great. Mortals that oppose us. Yeah, that's dope.
That's you.
Farmer guy. Yeah, I want to play Farmer
Yeah.
Paladin.
Gladiator,
right
Savage
now.
Attacker. Oh my god. Yeah, these are good.
Yeah,
I like these.
It's great. I don't think we should go over each one in
No,
depth,
no,
but
no.
you
I just wanted to
guys
skim.
definitely go over these because this is going to change the way characters are built going forward. If we really adopt this way, which I'm actually all for after my first look, I think it's great.
Oh, you have to forgive me. I chopped up Carolina Reapers earlier, and I touched my face. So opening my eye is going to burn horrible right now. So I'm just going to open with my left eye. So this is going to suck for me for the rest of this video. Luckily, we're almost done. So if I cry a little bit, everybody, that's why. I was chopping up Reaper peppers, and I made the mistake of scratching my face.
I can read a little bit, but then your starting language is not a lot of difference here. It gives you some charts that are new. I really like it. Gives you the language and then your typical users. So like common and common sign language, typically anybody would. Then halflings, no halfling, orcs and orc, etc., etc. But what's cool is the rare language. So abyssal, typical users are demons, infernal, devils. It sounds obvious, but what I think would be fun is you can go through this typical user list and as a DM, I'd want to take some of these and switch them up and really see if like somebody in the party could catch on and like use polymorph self or disguise self and have enemies disguising themselves in ways that we haven't seen before. Definitely trying to rely on like language. It's a stretch, but I'd have to find a way to make it work. But I really definitely think there's something I could work with there.
I think there's a lot for everybody to work with here, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
You have your feats again. It looks like some of these feats are the same. They might just be changing some
They're
of
just
the
sort of
abilities.
reworking them.
Yeah, like reworks, not changing completely. The feats are still there, just a lot of reworks. And that seems like this is like what a lot of this is. Yeah.
They're just fluffing. They're adding a little bit to all these. I really like the way they changed Lucky. So now you still have the luck points. It still takes a long rest. But now you can spend a luck point to give yourself advantage on a roll. And disadvantage, but it looks like you have to definitely do it before now, and it's now definitely clear that you're not allowed to use these on other creatures.
Yeah,
it only says against you or when you're attacking. So I know that at our tables we've always played with it a little bit, but it's good to see it.
Speaking of like rolls and some different reworks, let's go to the D20 test real quick. This is something that I know you are going to also have some questionable things with. Rolling a 1. If you roll a 1 on the D20 test automatically fails, regardless of any modifiers. We already do that. We already do nat 1s auto-fail. It's just fun. People f*** up, you make mistakes, it happens. Rolling a 20. If you roll a 20 on the D20 test, automatically succeeds, regardless of any modifiers added to the roll. The character also gains inspiration when rolling a D20 thanks to remarkable success. So not only is it an auto-pass, you also gain an inspiration.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, it's we use a nat 20 or a crit fail and a crit fail and critical success chart in our games anyway. So like,
yeah, it's not going to change.
That's something we already do. Yeah. Critical hits. This is the one thing this entire playtest I'm just like, I don't know. Weapons and unarmed strikes have a special feature for player characters. Critical hits. If a player rolls a nat 20 for an attack roll with a weapon or an unarmed strike, the attack also is a critical hit, which means it deals extra damage to the target. You roll the damage dice of the weapon and the unarmed strike the second time, and add the second roll as damage to the target. For example, a mace deals blood. It is a critical hit.
Okay, yeah, obviously.
If your weapon or unarmed strike has no damage dice, it deals no extra damage on a critical hit. So here's the thing.
That seems unnecessary.
Here's the thing. From what I listened to on the video with Jeremy Crawford is this means, and this is what he was saying, is spell attacks don't crit anymore, which I disagree with. I disagree.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The great thing about D&D is they can come up with all the rules in the world.
Yeah.
It's still your table. Yeah. If someone rolls a nat 20, I don't like to take away from it. I don't care if they're rolling like a stealth check or an acrobatics check. If they get a nat 20 or a nat 1, I'm going to make it equally awesome or tragic, depending on which one they got.
Yeah.
And I don't see why they'd take away from spell attacks or ranged attacks in general. So that's not going to change the way we're doing critical hits at my table for sure.
Correct. So,
and then the rest, I think, Really, only they changed the spell sort of to arcane, divine,
Yeah,
and
there's your
primal,
3 different spell lists now: arcane, divine, and primal.
which I like.
I do. It makes it so there's not like a billion lists now, because there was a list for like every
Right.
class.
You
Now
had
they're
to
just
get through the wizard, the sorcerer, the warlock. This will be easier, more condensed. I like it.
Yep. I do feel like they are going to make like some conditions though, because it's like divine would obviously be like paladin and cleric. However, does that mean that a paladin and cleric have access to all the same spells?
I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I think I don't think it's going to be abused, which is good, because I'd like to definitely see a lot of... I like when classes can share spells. I don't like just one class to like have all of it, unless it's something really special to the class. You know, like I wouldn't want to take away... what's that Hexblade ability? Or is it just Hex? Yeah, I wouldn't want to take Hex and just be like, oh, this is for everybody now. Definitely keep something special, but this is nice that they keep it tight. It's all on one page. It's not asking for a lot. I think that's nice.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm not seeing it on here.
Okay.
Unless I missed it. But the one thing that Jeremy Crawford also did say is that monsters no longer crit. That is the one thing that I think a lot of people right now are just like, hey, this playtest is cool. However, my monsters are still critting. Because I like a lot of the stuff we're seeing in this. I really, really do.
Yeah, I like the direction.
I like the direction a lot. However, as a player and a DM, I've enjoyed being on both ends of the table when a monster crits me, because it gives you that, oh, things just got real moment.
Yeah, I don't want people to ever feel too safe. I think there's a point to where it sort of takes away from the realism when the fear's gone. And I think it's really nice to have the fear of like, oh, it's just 10 goblins. Who cares? They can't even really hurt me. Well,
there's 10 goblins. Uh-oh.
One could accidentally cut me in the jugular, and that 20 could still take me out. I better take this serious. Or like, hey, let's not split the party. 10 goblins might actually be a bad thing.
Could be. So,
but I think overall, I feel pretty positive about this. I like sort of the direction they're going.
I do like a lot, honestly, majority of what's in this. I really do. There's a few things where I'm just like, why did they give all the speeds are the same now, which is... I feel like if you're halfling or dwarf, you should be at 25. That's just me, though. But then again, like, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't like it. For sure, that's something I don't like.
Yeah, I feel... I don't know. I feel weird about it. I love the fact that if you're a human or a tiefling, you can choose your size. I think that's cool. I love
Also the Ardling.
Yeah.
Ardling, you can pick your size as well.
Yeah, I see that,
Also, welcome to the Ardling.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here there's a lot that I like. I do. The backgrounds, I love that backgrounds are useful, which is awesome now. There's so much more stuff to go with backgrounds.
It makes more sense to even use it, because I remember like sometimes I wouldn't even do a background. Like
because like why, Yeah, now you have a reason to. The many worlds thing, I do like the many worlds thing. I do like it. I really like it. It's just
awful.
Dude, my eye is on fire right now, man.
It's
just my eye. Yeah, we're gonna end the video.
Yeah, YouTube.
With that being said, YouTube, my eye is on fire right now. I'm happy we were able to get through most of this video.
I just looked up and saw how you look. Like we should have ended this video like when you got. How long has it been this bad?
About 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm just sitting here like, oh my god, my face hurts.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
I hope you.
I wanted to finish the video. We had to do it. We had to go over the new playtest.
Guys go over this information, and please in the comments. If you disagree or agree with something we've said, or if we missed a valuable insight that you caught, please let us know in the comments so that we can see these things, because we're all about it and we want to know what you guys think.
Sure. Yeah, we didn't read it word for word. Obviously, I'm reading with one eye right now, but I like a lot of what's in here. Let us know your thoughts. What do you don't like? What do you do like? What are you having mixed feelings about? And yeah, with that being said, everybody, make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you like the video, likes whatever they say for like thoughts and prayers for my eye so it feels better, or 1 like equals 1 water splash in my face, or something like that. I'm gonna go cry now.
If anybody likes this video, I'm gonna assume they only liked it because you were in pain.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.